Hi, my name's Josh. I'm a producer here at Tested, and these are my favorite things of 2023. Gotta say, it's great to put this video together for you guys and introduce myself. I've always gotten a really positive reception from you guys in the comments. So if you've ever taken the time to say something nice about my camera work or my editing, maybe you're one of my favorite things. And you might be wondering why I didn't do a favorite things last year. Well, the truth is, it was imposter syndrome. So, speaking of imposter syndrome, here's the thing. One of my favorite tabletop experiences of this past year was playing this game with some friends that I've known for over 20 years, trying to figure out what kind of mind games we were playing and what sort of tells we all had. Okay, well, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. The Thing, the board game published by Pendragon Game Studio, is for 1 to 8 players, and yes, there is a single player variant, if you can believe that. This was kickstarted in summer of 2022. I was not a backer, so I got mine much later. That did come with some cool stuff. I think that the rollout playmat is especially cool. But what you get in this box is great, and I really love the art style. I think it does a good job of capturing, like a comic book interpretation of the movie, but it's unmistakably The Thing in its own way. Now, as far as gameplay goes, this is a hidden traitor game, so sort of like Mafia or Werewolf, but also takes an asymmetrical turn when the thing is revealed, and in that way it becomes a little like Betrayal at House on the Hill. Basically, as the humans, you have a lot to do. You want to escape the facility, or you can try killing the thing, but no matter what avenue you're trying to take, you need to cooperate with the other players. There's not really a way that one player can just kind of steamroll their way through the game. You also have to keep the lights on. You also have to make sure the boiler doesn't explode, and you also have to eat and do blood tests and all of these different things. There's a lot to manage. And if you're the thing, you want those environmental things to work in your favor. You want the lights to be out. You want the boiler to explode and catch the station on fire, and you want to infect other players. And when the player becomes infected, now their win state has changed, and you've got someone else on your team. My favorite part of the game is the accusation phase. It's this beautiful moment where all the characters come back to the rec room at the end of the round, and you just point fingers at each other. That's it. And however many fingers get pointed at you, that raises your suspicion meter. And it's so confrontational, and I love that it's not obfuscated by some kind of game mechanic. It's not an anonymous voting system with cards or something like that. So for me personally, I would say I'm a bigger fan of the movie than I am of this style of game in general, but this just really got me into it. It was so much fun just to live in that world, as sick as maybe that sounds. And as I said, one of my favorite tabletop moments of the year, even though I lost because all my friends thought I was the thing, and I definitely wasn't. Oh, it's just my next favorite thing. Joey has talked about quasar lights in the past, but these are new to our kit this year. These are the Quasar Science Q-Lion. It's lithium ion. It's spelled like lion. Is it Q-Lion? Is it Q-Lion? I've never heard anyone say it out loud. Perhaps you can let me know in the comments. These have become really invaluable around here. It's one of those tools where I can't really remember what we did before we had these. I just run into the gear room, I run back to set, and we've got a little kicker just that fast. This is really handy when I'm helping Norm shoot thumbnail photos, and you just kind of can move around, and I can say, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? And that fast iteration is so important. This is a single button control here. So we got on and off. This also controls color temperature, of which you get 3,000, 4,300, and 5,600 Kelvin, I believe. Also, a 5-step dimmer. So you've got full brightness, 75%, 50%, 25%, 10%, and then it's off. We got the Quasar Science 3x1 kit, which has this little shorty guy here. And then we've also got the Q10, and this guy behind me here is the Q20. Again, they all have the magnets, which is really handy for Adam's cave. You know, there's a lot of great metal surfaces that you can just kind of stick one of these onto. We've also got a baby pin adapter, which goes into the 3/8 inch, or you can slide it onto my next favorite thing here, which is actually this stand. So this is the Manfrotto Nano Plus stand. It's a super compact light stand. I love taking this on locations. Manfrotto says that this can only carry about 3 pounds, which is fine for something like this. Folded up, this is a little over 20 inches. And when it's completely raised up, I mean, you can also see it's got a great footprint here. And this will raise up to be taller than me. I'm about 6 feet tall, which I found for a lot of our stuff is more than enough, especially in a run and gun kind of situation. So the way I found this is I was looking for kind of like to build out a kit that could be carried onto a plane, you know, something where I can jump on a flight to LA and we can just get in there and start shooting. You don't have to wait at the luggage carousel, or even worse, stopping by a rental house. This is something that I just want to carry it with me. I just want to stay in that creative flow state, you know, that Adam's always talking about. I don't want to wait. I want to get to the location. I want to meet the people. I want to set up and shoot the video and then honestly come home to my family. Keep it up. You love this. I like this though. That makes me feel good. You guys that are on camera all day are nuts. Another one of my gaming highlights this year was the multiple times we brought out this game. This is Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core. Now, it's not a new game. I first played this a couple years ago at a friend's house. I was hooked. I went home to buy my own copy, only to discover that it was out of print and sold out everywhere. And after 2 years of being patient and not wanting to click that eBay button, I was able to buy my own when they came back into print this summer. Gameplay-wise, this is a co-op grid-based tactics game, and so yes, it is cooperative and very punishing, as those games tend to be. I would liken the difficulty of this game to something like Space Hulk Death Angel, if you're familiar with that title, although probably a little easier if I'm being honest. This game is for between 1 and 6 players, and I've been able to play it with a full squad and single player. The game doesn't change that much depending on how many players you have. It's more of a difficulty scaling measure. So basically, no matter how many players you have, you're always going to control 6 Marines. But the more players you have, the more aliens are going to spawn. And they've really done a great job with that mechanic. The motion tracker from the films creates a ton of suspense in which you spawn a little blip in a certain spawn point. And if no one has line of sight to that blip, then it just remains a blip that is constantly encroaching on your force. But when you do gain line of sight, flip it over and you see how much trouble you're actually in. I love the figures that the game comes with. I understand that it's maybe a little more assembly than some people care to do, especially because people that love board games aren't necessarily those people who love model making. They just want to open the box and get into it. As you can see, I've left mine unpainted. I basically just don't trust myself not to ruin these. I've seen a ton of great paint jobs online. I just don't have that skill set. The game comes with 4 double-sided game boards, which allow you to play the 9 included missions. The game boards can be flipped over and rearranged depending on what mission you're on. There's a 3-mission campaign with, well, 2 kind of optional side missions. And there's also 4 bug hunts, as they're called, which are a survival horde mode type of thing. So if you can get through all 42 of the motion tracker deck, which spawns the aliens, that's how you win a bug hunt. This is probably my favorite co-op game. The alien spawns keep it fresh each time, and it really does have a lot of replayability. One thing to note is I really recommend going to the Gale Force 9 website and looking up the FAQs, because it'll help with the rule book, which is lacking in some respects. The last thing on my list this year is Formula One by Peter Nygard. This was actually a gift from my wife. I used to watch a lot of IndyCar as a kid, and then I kind of fell out of it. So yes, Drive to Survive did get me back into open wheel racing. And now it's something that my wife and I, we watch every race, every weekend, and it's become a lot of fun. I'm just so fascinated by the idea of an engineering championship, how every car is different, every team has their own approach to the formula, and trying to be the quickest car on track. This book has over 400 photographs going from the 1950s with the first Grand Prix up until the present day. But my favorite era would be the 1970s and early 80s, when everything was just so bizarre and the solutions were pretty wild and the rules were a lot looser. So you get to see my favorite car, the Tyrrell P34. Oh, how I love that car. So there it is. These were my favorite things of 2023. I've enjoyed so much being able to create these videos for you guys with Adam and the rest of the Tested team, and also getting to meet some of you guys at the conventions that we've been at. Believe it or not, there are still things that we shot this year that we have not been able to show you yet, so look forward to that coming up soon. I'm going to take the rest of the year off to learn how to be a dad. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next year.
Thank you so much for watching that video. Your support allows us to make more of this great content. If you'd like to help us on a deeper level even, head over to tested-store.com because we've got stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? Our anime-inspired Tested logo in Japanese. Follow the process, not the plan. It's not a process. It's not a problem to solve, it's a process to manage. Other aphorisms that have come from my mouth. And we have just made a full set of our demerit badges in sticker form. So you can cover your toolbox with all of your screw-ups and celebrate it with other makers. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.